So here's what really happened. Justin pulled up in LA during SZA's show, right? And at first glance, it looked like a dope surprise collab until you actually watched him. Mic in hand, yeah, but the man wasn't even singing into it. The lyrics were all over the place and his movements, slow, spaced out, like he wasn't even there mentally. Then came the part that had the internet losing it. When he grabbed SZA's hand, kissed it, and just stared at her like he was zoned out. Stuck in some dream or something. People were quick to scream cheating, but let's not get distracted by the noise. Truth is, that moment wasn't about romance. It was SZA doing what real ones do, holding it down for a friend in crisis. You can literally see her take control, steadying him, grabbing his face gently, trying to pull him back to reality without making it more awkward for him. That hand kiss could have meant anything. Maybe it was a clout move. Let's be real. Justin's been acting like he lives for headlines lately. Or maybe, just maybe, that kiss was his way of saying thank you without actually saying the words, because he didn't know how. And, oh yeah, Hailey? She was right there too. The cameras caught everything, and Hailey's face, chilling. Not mad, not crying, just blank. Like she already knew what was going down and had accepted she couldn't stop it. That wasn't jealousy. It went way deeper than that. It was a wife watching the man she loves fall apart right in front of thousands, and her face said it all. That cold, still expression, it was the emotion. Hailey Bieber has been through it all for Justin. She's stretched herself thin, trying to support him, ride for him, protect him. If anyone knows how heavy that load is, it's her. So let's not play dumb now. This isn't new. This isn't the first time we've seen Justin out in public looking lost. People have been excusing it for years. Oh, he's just nervous. It's the pressure. He's emotional. Remember just the other day when he snapped on paparazzi for filming him while he was just trying to grab a coffee? It's been happening over and over. And now it's hitting way too hard to brush off. These public episodes, they're not random anymore. The dazed look, the sluggish movements, those glassy eyes, and the way he held on to SZA like she was the only thing keeping him upright? That wasn't some cute celebrity moment. It was straight up alarming. That wasn't PDA. It was desperation. Justin couldn't even pull it together to perform one full song. Not one. Everything he did on that stage felt like a cry for help. And honestly, this shouldn't be about some fake drama between him and SZA. The real convo? It's about someone clearly struggling in real time, and whether the people around him are stepping up like SZA did or freezing like they don't know what move to make. Instead of running wild with cheating rumors or twisting this into some fantasy soap opera, people really need to ask the real question. Who's actually helping Justin right now? Because at this point, it's way past drama. It's serious. This ain't about clicks or views anymore. It's about someone's mental state, someone's health, someone's marriage. Whatever's going on behind the scenes, one thing's clear. Justin is not okay. And while the internet's too busy playing matchmaker with the wrong people, the folks who actually matter, his wife, his close friends, his team, need to get it together and move fast. The man needs help, not hashtags, not gossip, not fake narratives. More and more people are finally starting to notice too.
Saw the Justin Bieber performance with SZA as a special guest, right? I don't know how much longer we're going to ignore how bad a shape Justin Bieber is, and I have talked about this quite a bit. I have gone on a roller coaster. I have felt like he is totally okay, and then I have felt like he is not.
But if we keep treating this like it's tea to sip on instead of a real-life situation, we're gonna miss the whole point. This ain't entertainment. It's a cry for help happening in plain sight. What's wild, though? Some folks out here still clowning him, like full-on dragging his performance, calling him out for looking spaced, saying there was no vibe, or even making up stories that he touched SZA like that because he's tired of his wife. That's crazy. Yeah, everyone knows the Bieber marriage is kind of complicated. It's no secret. But that's not what this moment was about. People are focusing on the wrong stuff. From where I'm standing, Justin didn't look moody or uninterested. He looked gone, not present, like mentally checked out. And as for SZA, I'm not buying that flirty narrative either. What she did looked more like concern than anything else. At one point, it looked like SZA had to literally touch Justin's back just to keep him grounded, like he was about to float off into space if she didn't. And instead of asking the real question, why was he even on that stage in the first place, folks online started spinning it into some romantic fantasy. People making rom-com style edits, shipping them like it's some kind of love story.
People are kind of fixated on how he was touching SZA and like doing all these like, grabby type motions, kissing her hand, doing all that. And they're like, oh, Hailey Bieber, I don't know how she does it. Like, she's so good for doing that because I wouldn't be able to do that. And all I could sit there and think about is, Justin's not even here with us.
Then out of nowhere, people started saying wild stuff like, Justin needs a black wife to love and ground him. Huh? Where is that even coming from? Why is it that everything gets twisted into a relationship narrative, even when there's zero vibe like that happening? Let's be real. SZA wasn't flirting. This wasn't a steamy duet. She was straight up holding him up, helping him stay locked in when he clearly wasn't all there. That's not flirtation. That's someone stepping in like a real one, no questions asked. Honestly, props to SZA for handling that moment with so much grace. While the internet nitpicked over lack of chemistry, she clocked something way deeper, that her duet partner might be struggling. And instead of panicking or pulling away, she stepped in, stayed calm, and kept it all together for both of them. That's what professionalism looks like. Show some respect. Now look, we're not here to accuse anybody of anything. We don't know exactly what was going on with Justin that night, but if you've ever been around someone battling with deeper issues, especially with substances, that blank stare, that strange energy, it's not mysterious. And it's definitely not performance art.
Out Justin Bieber, and someone in the comments said you can literally see his marriage leave his body.
What we really saw on that stage, that was someone fighting just to stay present. And here's what's honestly hard to watch. Hailey Bieber keeps catching strays for no reason. People stay dragging her like she's just clinging to fame or chasing clout. But let's be real for a second. If Justin's really going through something deep right now, there's no way Hailey isn't feeling it too. Forget the online hate for a moment. Being that close to someone who might be spiraling, that's exhausting. It takes a toll mentally and emotionally. And meanwhile, the whole internet's out here laughing, joking, turning it into viral edits. Like it's all some kind of skit. But this is way bigger than just one weird performance. Justin's told us before what the industry did to him, how it shook up his health, his peace, even his identity. And now, when we see the same signs playing out again right in front of us, folks still act shocked? That short set on stage made everything he's ever opened up about hit different. It wasn't just awkward, it was real. So maybe instead of clowning it up or making it about who he touched or didn't touch, we need to flip the convo. If someone you grew up watching can barely stay focused, looks worn down and spaced out, maybe the question isn't, does he hate his wife? Maybe it's, who's really making sure he's okay? Because from what I saw, SZA looked like the only one who stepped in and actually tried. Hailey finally broke her silence on what it's really like being under the microscope 24/7 and how that pressure has shaken up her entire marriage. When she recently landed the cover of Vogue while pushing her Rhode skincare line into Sephora, she didn't just talk business, she opened up. And after years of people dragging her, accusing her of lurking in Selena Gomez's comment section, she finally said her piece. She revealed that being in the spotlight constantly has straight up drained her. Hailey said folks were out here calling her a stalker, even going as far as calling her dad a pimp for bringing her to Justin's events when she was younger. Like, seriously? That's the level of hate she's been dealing with. And she's kept it cool this whole time, shading the haters during a "What's in my bag" video without even raising her voice. But you can see it. She's tired.
It's a little tincture potion that I got. I would say probably when I was around 12, my dad flew me to go meet with this witch who lived in the mountains, and she made this specifically for me. She told me that it would make a young Canadian pop star fall in love with me. So yeah, I've been taking this one for years. Absolutely love it. And yeah, thanks, Dad.
She also said something that hit hard. After 7 years of marriage, she thought people would finally let her breathe, especially now that she's talking about starting a family. But nope, people are still coming at her like it's 2018, throwing the same tired narratives in her face. And when she tries to speak her truth, they shut her down, saying she's lying or faking it. That constant gaslighting, it's like being stuck in a mental cage. Hailey's not just fighting off trolls, she's trying to keep her peace while holding down a marriage that's clearly under heavy pressure. Hailey said it straight up. "I feel like I've fought so hard to get people to understand me, and some folks just don't want to, and there's nothing you can do about that." That's raw. She talked about trying to correct the lies, explain her side, or shut down false stories, only for people to turn around and say, "She's lying." Imagine how frustrating that feels. Like yelling into the wind. She even opened up about doing intense therapy just to stay grounded after having her baby. And while she's trying to heal and figure out this new chapter of life, she's also getting slammed online every single day. It's trauma on top of trauma. And through all of it, she's just trying to exist. Just live her life with her son, her husband, and the few people who truly know and love her for her. She said being postpartum was the most emotionally raw time of her life. Learning this new version of herself, it's been rough. And doing it all while scrolling through the internet and seeing people shout, "They're getting divorced!" or "They're unhappy!" It messed with her head big time. It's the kind of mental chaos that's hard to even put into words. Hailey also said Ariana Grande's quote about not inviting negativity really stuck with her. Just because the hate is out there doesn't mean you have to let it in. And now, Hailey's putting that into action. She's setting boundaries, editing her own TikToks, and steering clear of toxic spaces. She's still showing up, still active, but protecting her peace at all costs. And honestly, that's a vibe we should all pick up on. Look, it's not like Hailey's record is squeaky clean. She's said some wild things in the past, and yeah, she's caught heat for it. But this moment right here, this ain't just another influencer meltdown. Hailey's been in the storm, and now she's standing firm, owning her truth with a whole new kind of energy. And good for her, seriously. You'd think after setting the record straight and bearing it all, people would back off a little, maybe show some compassion. But nope, wrong again. The comment section, still ruthless. One person wrote, "From my own experience, people trying to convince you they're in a happy, healthy relationship are just trying to convince themselves." Another said, "She'll never convince me she didn't stalk him when she was younger. The video proof is incriminating." And then came, "She made fun of her stalking like it never happened. But girl, we have proof." Like I said, Hailey's made missteps. She's not perfect, but both her fans and her haters need to understand that some things are just beyond her control. People acting like she's to blame for everything Justin does in public? Come on! Someone even questioned why she was just sitting there at the show like nothing was happening. Like what? Was she supposed to run on stage mid-performance and drag him off? What would that have looked like? Hailey's already being torn apart. No matter what she does. At some point, we've got to stop expecting her to fix things she didn't cause. At the end of the day, Justin's behavior, that's on him. And yeah, I get it. He's dealing with his own stuff. But somehow, his mess always ends up making life harder for Hailey too. They rarely show up as a solid unit. And honestly, he's sabotaged her more than once. That's part of why people keep questioning if they're really happy. Take the whole Vogue drama, for example. It was wild. Justin Bieber made it seem like he was doing everything in his power to prove to the world that he couldn't care less about Hailey's biggest moments. It didn't make any sense why he'd ruin such a major win for her like that. One of Hailey's fans said it best, "Who needs enemies when you've got a spouse like this?" And it made sense. In case you missed the mess, let me run it back. Hailey Bieber just scored a solo American Vogue cover. That's huge, a real career moment. But instead of showing love and lifting her up like any decent partner would, Justin flipped the script and went full self-sabotage mode. He posted the Vogue cover, but instead of a sweet, "Congrats, babe! I'm proud of you!" he turned it into a trip down memory lane no one asked for. He brought up some emotional baggage, saying there was a time he told her she'd never be on the cover of Vogue. Like, what? People were stunned. Why would he even go there? This was her moment. And he made it weird. Again. And honestly, a lot of folks couldn't help but feel bad for Hailey, because when the person closest to you can't even clap for your wins without throwing shade, that's not just awkward, it's heartbreaking. Yep, he actually admitted it. Justin said that during a heated fight, he once told Hailey, "You'll never be on the cover of Vogue." Yikes, that's cold. And instead of just stopping there and letting her shine now that she proved him wrong, he kept going. Like, for real, he said he only said it because he felt disrespected and wanted to be even. Be even with your wife? Over what? Her breathing too loud? Then he tried to clean it up at the end with a half apology. "Baby, you already know. Forgive me for saying you wouldn't get a Vogue cover. I was clearly sadly mistaken." Sadly mistaken? That line had the internet doing double takes. It wasn't giving regret. It was giving salty that she proved him wrong. People clocked it fast. One comment nailed it. "It's giving, I didn't think you'd pull it off, but you did. So I guess congrats, babe." Another person wrote, "He needs to get a journal. WTF." And then came the one that hit the hardest. This is classic, "How do I make your big moment about me energy?" Oof. And then the final dagger. "May this love never find me." That one said it all. Like, seriously, why post that in the first place? This was Hailey's time to shine. Her achievement, her moment. But instead of lifting her up, Justin brought out the emotional archives. Old fights, petty vibes, and therapy-like quotes nobody asked for. He made it about his ego instead of just giving her the flowers she earned. All he had to say was, "I'm proud of you." But nah, he had to drop a monologue. Justin ended up deleting the caption just hours after the backlash started rolling in and replaced it with a bunch of emojis. But the internet never forgets. Screenshots were already everywhere. And what people saw? It screamed controlling, bitter, and honestly, classic emotional sabotage. He could have just smiled, dropped a "so proud" caption, or even tossed up a simple heart emoji. That would have been enough. But no, he had to remind everyone that there was a time he straight up doubted her success. And what made it sting even more? When Kendall Jenner landed a Vogue cover, Justin had nothing but praise. Real simple, real sweet. He just posted the pic with, "Congrats, Ken, you look beautiful." So why couldn't he show that same energy for his own wife? That's what had people scratching their heads. The truth is, this kind of behavior from Justin isn't new. By now, it feels like second nature. Their marriage has been throwing out more red flags than a World Cup match. From public shade to moments where Hailey looks straight up uncomfortable, fans have been clocking the tension for years. And this Vogue situation, it was just the final straw. One person didn't hold back in the comments. "This is what you get when you're obsessed with someone who's not really into you." That line hit hard, because honestly, it's starting to look less like a love story and more like one person constantly proving themselves while the other just watches from the sidelines, arms crossed. I gotta say, I really do feel for Hailey sometimes. Like, yeah, her face is shining on the Vogue cover, but somehow Justin still managed to make himself the headline. And in doing that, he reminded everyone exactly why folks keep saying he low-key has some resentment toward her. And let's be real, it just proves what many have been saying for a while now. Can we please stop blaming Hailey for Justin Bieber's mess? Even if she moved heaven and earth to be with him, okay? She made her choice. But the truth is, way too often she's getting dragged for stuff that is so far out of her control. That's the hill I'll stand on. People are so quick to point fingers at her when half the time she's just trying to stay afloat in a situation that's clearly complicated. So, what do you think about all this, fam? Is Hailey catching heat she doesn't deserve? Is Justin doing too much or not enough? Drop your thoughts down in the comments. I really want to hear what y'all have to say on this one. If you enjoyed the deep dive, like, share, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss the next drop. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.